I was told that puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries were my only options. They were wrong. Now, I suffer from irreversible changes to my body and mind that I will live with for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you heard it there. When she was 12 years old, doctors convinced Chloe Cole that she was transgender and leading her down a path of irreversible medical procedures. And now she's 20 years old and endorsing Donald Trump for president because of his stance on transgender issues. And Chloe joins us now. So, Chloe, let's dive down this road a little bit further. In what led you to come out and endorse Donald Trump?
Thanks for having me. I have been incredibly frustrated with U.S. government and its complacency in allowing so many children who are and young women and men who are vulnerable like me to go down this path without either helping those of us who have already been hurt or just looking the other way when children and youth are being harmed. And I absolutely refuse to endorse a candidate who is not only allowing it to happen, but also actively encouraging parents and families to allow their children to go down these paths.
It really is remarkable. Do you feel like something has changed, in the last few years? I mean, how do you kind of look at this battle, this landscape now? Because I mean, just my cards, and I'm just watching it, right? I mean, part of me thinks, well, things have gotten better. More people are aware of how destructive this is. And then on the other hand, I don't really know because, like you say, it's still the official policy of so many institutions and powerful people. What do you think the progress is or lack thereof? What does it look like?
So I've been speaking out on behalf of what I've been through with the medical system for almost 3 years now. And while during that time, I've seen a lot of remarkable change being made, and including that 26 states now have passed laws in some other form of measure to protect their constituents' children from going through what I did. We are still not making progress quickly enough. It is incredibly frustrating, and there, even amongst states that are more conservative, there still is this pervasive lie that parts of the treatment are irreversible, or parts of this treatment are reversible, that it's safe to allow children to go on it, even partially, when in reality, children absolutely should not be allowed by doctors to go through this in any capacity, because it is completely dangerous.
Well, we look at the numbers from Do No Harm, and over 5,700 minors have had transgender surgery between 2019 and 2023. And Chloe, if you look at it, over 14,000 have received care for dysphoria. So what do you think is driving such high numbers here?
Well, I think one of the most important driving factors is that it is incredibly lucrative. So the Stop the Harm database that Harm has created has it's a first of its kind analysis of public insurance claims from hospitals all over all 50 states between 2019 and 2023. And what they found is that not only that almost 14,000 children have undergone sex change procedures of some kind, but also that, I mean, these claims have added up to over $100 million. And when you think about it, it really makes sense as to why doctors would be incentivized to do this younger and younger and throughout long periods of a patient's life. Because the younger that you go, the further that a patient is going to go into it. And the further that you go, the more interventions, the more medications, the more surgeries, and the more complications that are going to arise as a result of those interventions, and more surgeries and more medications will have to be prescribed in order to treat that. We're creating lifetime slaves to the pharmaceutical and to the healthcare industries.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. People who are going to be, for the rest of their life, going back to these doctors. I hesitate to use that word, by the way. This reminds me of what's going on in this Tennessee case. The Supreme Court is going to consider Tennessee's ban on, Gender affirming care. Do you think this case is? Do you know anything about this case? Is important? Is going to set a precedent?
I haven't heard a whole lot about this case, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, it's going to be a big deal when you look at it. Just gender affirming care for minors as a whole, it is such a huge issue, and we so appreciate the work that you have done. If there's any message that you have for people out there in just the final minutes that we have here, what would that be?
The entire premise of the gender affirming care model is based on lies. The very name of it is a lie because it is not affirming anything other than the delusions and the trauma of these patients, of these children, of these men and women who need psychiatric health, not to be sterilized, not to have their perfectly healthy bodies disfigured. Nobody can actually become the opposite sex. No surgery, no medication is ever going to turn someone into a man from a woman or into a woman from a man. These patients deserve better. The compassionate thing to do is not to affirm this false identity, but to help them, to guide them,